Okay, so the date is Thursday, February 12th, 2026. And I want you to just uh, put yourself in this headspace for a second.
Yeah.
You wake up, you do what we all do, you reach for your phone, and the digital keys to your life, they're just gone,
Gone.
not just lost, stolen. And they've been replaced by a countdown clock, 30 days, tick, tock. And when that clock hits zero, 18 years of your personal history, I'm talking photos, messages, private journals,
Yeah.
it all gets incinerated,
Just poof, erased.
gone forever. This isn't hypothetical. This is the reality that Nicole Eggert is facing, like, right now, as we speak.
It really is a digital hostage situation. And, what makes this case so particularly harrowing isn't just the celebrity angle, it's the interception of this massive cybersecurity failure and a very real, very physical battle for her own survival.
Absolutely.
Because as we sit here today, Nicole isn't just fighting some anonymous hackers, she's also fighting stage 2 breast cancer.
That context is everything. It changes the entire story. We aren't talking about a vanity hack here.
Yeah, not at all.
This isn't someone losing their blue check and having like an ego bruise for a couple of days. We are talking about a woman who has been using her Facebook account as a real-time public cancer journal since her diagnosis back in December of 2023.
That's right.
Those posts aren't just content. They are her lifeline. They are the documentation of her chemotherapy, her mastectomy, her recovery. And now, thanks to what can only be described as a scorched earth hack, she's literally staring at a deletion timer.
It's the modern nightmare scenario, isn't it? I mean, you have the profound vulnerability of the human body, her body, clashing with the absolute cold indifference of algorithmic security.
Yeah, indifference is the word.
So we're going to spend the next hour really unpacking exactly how this happened, the fascinating, and I've got to say, frankly, cinematic rescue mission that involves a Uruguayan hacker.
Oh, we have to get into that part. It's incredible.
And what this whole saga tells us about the state of what people are calling the scammiverse in 2026.
And we have to talk about that rescue mission.
Yeah.
I've been reading the reports on this Alberto Daniel Hill character, and the strategy he's using is, honestly, it's genius.
Get it?
It's not technical hacking. It's what you called bureaucratic warfare.
Oh.
But okay, before we get to the hero arc, let's drill down into the incident itself, because the timeline here is pretty critical. It all seems to kick off around February 6th, when Eggert posts on, formally Twitter, that she is in hell.
In hell is the right phrase. From what we can piece together, the breach happened very swiftly. This wasn't a brute force attack where they just guessed her password because it was password 123 or something.
Right. Not a simple mistake on her part.
No, this bears all the hallmarks of a session hijacking or maybe a really sophisticated social engineering play. Once the attackers were in, they didn't just deface the profile or post spam. They executed a hostile takeover.
What does that mean exactly? A hostile takeover of a social account.
It means they went for the foundations, they changed the recovery email, they changed the password. And then, the critical step, they enabled two-factor authentication, but linked to their devices.
So they effectively locked the doors from the inside and threw away her key.
Exactly. But then they did the thing that really distinguishes this from a standard account theft. They triggered the deletion sequence.
The countdown clock.
The countdown clock. Facebook, like a lot of platforms, has this cooldown period. If you want to delete your account, they give you 30 days to change your mind to come back.
Right.
The hackers initiated this, essentially putting a gun to the head of the account and telling her and the world, you've got 30 days.
Okay, but why do that? That's the part I don't get. If
Yeah.
you steal an account with 18 years of data and this massive following, she's a 90s icon, Baywatch, Charles in Charge, why burn it all down?
Right, you'd think they'd want to sell it.
Exactly. Sell the account,
Yeah.
use it to pump crypto scams, post spam links, something. Why just destroy it?
It's leverage. And sometimes, it's purely nihilistic. Some people just want to watch the world burn. But often, the threat of deletion is used to extort the victim behind the scenes.
So a ransom,
Yeah.
pay us, or we let the clock run out.
It's a very real possibility. And in Nicole's case, the value of that account is, well, it's incalculable, not in dollars, but in emotional currency
Right.
because of the Cancer Journal.
You mentioned that. She'd been documenting everything.
Everything. She even cited a specific story about a survivor named Sarah who had reached out to her and told her that reading those journals, seeing Nicole's fight in real time, gave her the motivation to keep fighting her own battle.
Wow.
That shared trauma, that community, that little ecosystem of survival she built, that is what is being held hostage, not just the blue check mark.
So she's locked out. The clock is ticking. What was the response from Meta, the parent company of Facebook? Surely a high-profile case like this gets escalated.
You would think so, but what we saw was a complete textbook systemic failure. And this is where we really need to stop looking at this as a Nicole Eggert problem and start looking at it as a tech industry problem.
Okay.
She is verified, she is a public figure, she has resources most of us don't, and yes, she hit the exact same wall of silence that you or I would hit.
The AI loop of death. I think I've heard you call it that before.
Precisely. It's exactly that. She went through all the standard recovery flows, forgot password, click, I think my account was hacked, click, and what do you get?
A bot.
You get a bot. You get an automated email that says, to secure your account, please log in.
The very thing she cannot do.
It's Kafka-esque. It's a circular digital hell designed to manage liability, not to help users.
You know, it reminds me of that concept we've touched on before, this idea of security as a luxury good.
Yes.
It feels like if you don't pay for the premium tier, and sometimes even if you do, you're not treated as a user. You're treated as a data point, a statistic.
That's the gray zone of support. That's what I call it. For the vast, vast majority of users on these free platforms, there is no phone number, there is no human being you can call, and the irony is just staggering. We have entrusted our most precious memories, like Nicole's cancer journals, to companies that have systematically automated their own empathy out of existence.
Which brings us, I think, perfectly to the 1 in a billion connection.
Yeah.
Because when the algorithm fails you, you need a human.
You do.
And Nicole Eggert just happens to have a very specific, very unique human in her corner. So introduce us to Alberto Daniel Hill.
This part of the story is, this is where reality starts to feel stranger than fiction. Alberto Daniel Hill is a well-known cybersecurity expert based in Uruguay. But his resume, It isn't exactly corporate standard.
What do you mean?
Well, he holds the rather unique distinction of being the first hacker ever sent to prison in the country of Uruguay.
So he's got black hat origins. It's not just a consultant.
He's walked the line, let's say. He's more of a gray hat now, a public advocate for better security. But the connection to Nicole isn't random. It's not like he just saw a news story. It dates all the way back to 1996.
Wow, the dial-up era.
The absolute Wild West of the web. In 1996, a teenage Alberto Hill created one of the very first Nicole Eggert fan websites on the entire internet.
No way.
Yes. We're talking hand-coded HTML, slow-loading JPEGs, probably a MIDI file playing in the background, the whole 9 yards. He wasn't just a casual viewer of Baywatch, he was a digital pioneer in her fandom.
That is amazing. And 30 years later, that connection is somehow still active.
It is. Get this. Nicole Eggert follows only 292 people on her social media accounts. Alberto Daniel Hill is one of them.
So he was in her inner circle, digitally speaking.
Exactly. So when she posted that she was in hell on X, he didn't just scroll past it. He saw it. And he took it as a personal call to action.
Now, the assumption here for most people would be that a hacker would hack back, right? That he would launch some kind of counteroffensive, break into the hacker systems, and just steal the account back for her.
That's the Hollywood version. And it's also highly illegal. If Hill did that, he'd be risking prison again. Hacking back is a direct violation of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act in the U.S. and similar laws all over the world. You cannot commit a crime to solve a crime.
Okay, so what did he do?
He did something much, much smarter. He didn't try to break down the door. He weaponized bureaucracy.
I love this concept, bureaucratic warfare. Break down his strategy for us, because this feels like something that is actually, I don't know, maybe replicable for the rest of us.
To a degree, yes. He recognized that Meta's AI support system is a fortress. You can't storm it. But every fortress has a backdoor for lawyers and, more importantly, for regulators. So he launched a three-pronged attack designed not to trick the AI, but to trigger human review through legal fear.
Okay, prong one, the United States.
Right. So first, in the U.S., he filed a formal consumer complaint with the Attorney General's office.
Why does that work? Why is that different from clicking help?
Because when you file a consumer complaint with an AG, the company is legally required to respond to that government body. It moves the ticket out of the customer support pile, which, as we said, is run by bots, and into the legal compliance pile.
Which is run by humans.
Which is run by actual salaried humans who are terrified of regulatory fines and government oversight.
Okay, so that forces a person to at least open the file and look at it. Smart. Brawn 2. Uruguay.
He used his local influence, his home turf. As a known cybersecurity figure in South America, he made a lot of noise. He talked to the media, public pressure, public shaming. It embarrasses companies. It threatens their brand safety, which is something they care about deeply.
Right.
It creates a PR problem that's more expensive to ignore than it is to solve.
But Prom 3, this is the one, the Italian joke. This is the part of the story that really caught my attention. This is where he went, basically nuclear.
This is the absolute masterstroke. So it turns out Nicole Eggert has Italian citizenship.
Through her family, right.
Correct. And that means she is a citizen of the European Union.
And as soon as you say EU citizen, that brings in the GDPR.
The General Data Protection Regulation. This is the gold standard of privacy law globally. I mean, in the U.S., our data privacy laws are, let's be generous and call them a patchwork.
Yeah, that's generous.
In the EU, data privacy is a fundamental human right enshrined in law.
So how does a hacker in Uruguay use a European law for a U.S. resident's Facebook account?
Because GDPR applies to the personal data of EU citizens regardless of where that citizen lives or where the company is based, the law follows the citizen, not the corporation.
Okay.
So Hill contacted the Italian data protection authorities. His argument was brilliantly simple. Meta is the custodian, the data controller, for an EU citizen's personal data. That data is currently compromised, and, more importantly, it is scheduled for permanent destruction.
The 30-day timer.
Exactly. If Meta allows that deletion to happen, they are failing in their legal duty to protect that data under GDPR Article 17, the right to erasure, and Article 32, security of processing.
And the penalties for a GDPR violation aren't small, are they?
Small. We are talking about fines that can reach up to 4% of a company's global annual turnover.
4% of global. For a company like Meta, that is.
Billions. Billions of dollars with a B.
So he basically walked up to Meta's legal department and said, look, you can ignore Nicole Eggert, the 90s actress. That's a customer service problem. But can you afford to ignore the European Commission?
That's it. You hit the nail on the head. He completely shifted the stakes. It went from a customer service issue they could ignore to a massive multi-billion-dollar regulatory liability they could not. He likely initiated what's called a data subject access request, or a specific complaint about a data breach notification.
And by doing that, he essentially freezes the process.
He freezes the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
Because if Meta deletes that data while there is an active regulatory inquiry from a European authority, they are, in legal terms, destroying evidence. And that's a whole different world of trouble.
That is just, it's incredible. It's using the immense weight of the system against itself.
It's classic asymmetric warfare. The user is small. The platform is a giant. But the regulator is bigger than the platform. You just have to know which levers to pull.
So Hill's advice to Eggert was, make friends with a hacker. But maybe it's more than that.
I'd amend that, yeah. Make friends with someone who understands the system. The code is one thing. The legal code is another.
So bringing us back to today, February 12, 2026, what is the current status of the account?
The account is still up. It's visible, it's verified, the deletion hasn't happened. Now, the public updates on X have gone quiet since about February 8th, but in these kinds of legal battles, silence is often a really good sign.
It means the lawyers are talking to each other, not to the public.
Exactly. It means it's been escalated past the point of public outcry and into the realm of negotiation. The Scorched Earth legal strategy seems to have successfully paused the Scorched Earth deletion timer.
It's a hopeful sign, a really hopeful sign. But let's zoom out for a minute, because while this story has a very specific hero, the broader landscape does not. Most of us.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have dual EU citizenship or a hacker superfan from 1986 on speed dial.
No, we are on our own, absolutely on our own.
And the environment we're all navigating, it's getting more hostile by the day. I was just looking at the McAfee 2026 State of the Scambiverse report this morning, and the numbers are just, they're terrifying.
What's the headline figure?
55%. 55% of Americans had a social media account compromised in just the last year.
So the majority. It is no longer if you get hacked, it's when. We have to operate from that assumption now, and the sophistication is evolving so fast. We used to tell people, look for typos in the email, or don't respond to the Nigerian prince offering gold.
Right, those days are long, long gone.
Ancient history.
The report highlights something called linkless scams. And I think this is really important for us to unpack, because for a decade, we've trained people, don't click the suspicious link, hover over the URL. But now Now, there is no URL to hover over.
Correct. The scammers are smart. They adapt. They know we're trained to spot the malicious link, so they just removed it. McAfee's report says 26%, more than a quarter of suspicious messages now have no link at all. This is the rise of the long con. It's often referred to by the pretty grim name of pig butchering.
That term pig butchering, it's gruesome, but it's also chillingly accurate, isn't it? Can you explain the psychology there?
It's based on the farming concept of fattening up the victim before the slaughter. It's all about building trust over time. It almost never starts with an ask. It starts with a seemingly innocent text message, completely out of the blue.
Like a wrong number.
Exactly. Something like, hey, are we still on for golf this afternoon? Or, is this the florist? I need to confirm my order. You, being a polite person, reply, sorry, wrong number. And they reply, oh, I'm so sorry to have bothered you. You seem like a nice person, though. My name's Anna, by the way.
And because we are human, and we are fundamentally social creatures, a lot of us will engage with that.
We engage. And the scammer doesn't ask for money. Not on day 1. Not on day 10. Maybe not even for a month. They build a relationship. They ask about your day. They tell you about their dog. They complain about their job. They might share photos. They are exploiting the deep psychological principle of reciprocity.
The sunk cost fallacy.
The huge part of it. You feel like you have a sunk cost in this new relationship. So by the time they mention a great crypto opportunity their uncle told them about, 3 or 4 weeks later, you aren't evaluating a cold pitch from a stranger. You're evaluating an offer from a friend. You're trusting a person, not a link.
Yeah, that's so much harder to defend against than a malicious URL. Because the vulnerability isn't a piece of software on your computer. It's our own human politeness, our own loneliness even.
It's social engineering at a massive global scale. And AI is turbocharging it. It's putting it on steroids.
Let's talk about that AI aspect. The report gets into deepfakes.
Deepfakes 2.0, this is the next level. The average consumer, according to McAfee, sees roughly 3 deepfakes a day now, whether they realize it or not.
Wow.
But the verification scam is where it gets really dangerous for your personal account security.
Okay, so how does that one work? Walk me through it.
All right. Imagine you get a DM on Instagram. It's not a text message, it's a video message. You tap it, and it looks like a legitimate support agent. They're sitting in what looks like a call center, wearing a headset with a logo on it, and they say, hey, we detected a suspicious login to your account from Russia. For your security, we need you to verify your identity by confirming your password and the code we just sent you.
And it looks real.
The lips move perfectly, the voice is professional and calm, the blinking looks natural, it looks 100% real.
But it's a completely generated avatar.
It is a 100% synthetic, a digital puppet.
Yeah.
But because we are visual creatures, our brains are hardwired to trust video more than text. We think, well, I can see him, so he must be real. And just like that, you hand over your credentials to a ghost.
And then there's quishing, which is just a terrible name.
A terrible name for a really pervasive threat. QR code phishing.
Right.
1 in 10 Americans, according to the report, encountered a malicious QR code in the wild last year. And you see this on public parking meters constantly. It's the perfect vector.
So scammers just print a sticker.
They print a sticker with their own malicious QR code on it, and they just walk up and paste it right over the legitimate one on the meter. You're in a hurry, you scan it, it takes you to a payment site that looks identical to the city's official one. You pay for 2 hours of parking.
And you just handed your credit card number, your CVV, everything straight to a thief.
And you still get a parking ticket on top of it. It's the ultimate insult.
It's this physical-digital hybrid warfare. And what's so scary is that while the offense is getting so much better AI, linkless scams, quishing the defense, our defense seems to be actively retreating.
It is.
And I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier, this death of trusted contacts. I remember this feature on Facebook years ago. You could pick like 3 to 5 of your best friends. And if you ever got locked out, they could vouch for you and help you get back in.
Yes, I remember that.
It felt so human. It felt logical.
It was probably the best security feature they ever had because it relied on your real-world social graph. It relied on actual human trust.
So what happened to it?
Meta killed it. They phased it out, and it was completely gone by 2023.
But why? If it works so well, why on earth would you kill it?
2 words. Scale and liability. Maintaining a system that relies on messy human interaction is, well, it's messy, it's expensive, it's hard to automate. So Meta and the tech industry at large made a very calculated business decision to pivot to AI-driven identity verification.
The upload your driver's license model.
Upload your ID. Take a video selfie and turn your head slowly to the left. That kind of thing.
But AI is terrible at nuance. It's famously bad at this stuff.
Exactly. That's the core of the problem. If a hacker gets into your account, the very first thing they do is they change the truth of the account in the database. They change your email, your phone number, maybe your profile picture. So when you, the legitimate owner, come along and try to reclaim the account by uploading your ID,
The AI sees a mismatch.
the AI looks at the current state of the database and says, sorry, the owner of this account is this person with the Russian email address and this new profile picture. The ID you uploaded doesn't match. You must be the intruder.
So the AI validates the thief because the thief is the one holding the digital keys at that moment.
Correct. And without a feature like trusted contacts, without a human witness who can say, no, I know her, that's her account, you are stuck in that automated loop forever. The tech companies have decided that the cost of false negatives, that is, locking out real owners like Nicole, is cheaper than the cost of hiring human support staff to verify them.
Which is why we see the rise of services like Meta Verified.
Yeah.
You mentioned this earlier. The idea of paying, what is it, $12 or $15 a month for priority support.
It is the gentrification of safety. It's a security subscription. If you can afford to pay the monthly rent on your own identity, you might get access to a human being. If you can't or you don't, you are left to the mercy of the bots.
It's creating a two-tier internet, a digital class system where basic security is a luxury product.
It's incredibly cynical, isn't it?
It is.
It is late-stage capitalism applied directly to your personal identity.
I want to pivot back to Nicole Eggert herself for a moment, because I think amidst all this tech talk, GDPR, deepfakes, squishing, it's easy to lose sight of the fact that there is a human being at the center of this storm.
Yes.
And her personal resilience is really what anchored this entire story for me.
It is the heartbeat of this deep dive, for sure. We have to remember what she's physically enduring while all of this digital violence is happening to her. She was diagnosed back in December 2023, and she found the lump herself.
And she mentioned in an interview that she almost ignored it. She thought it was just pain and weight gain related to menopause.
Which is such a common and often tragic miscalculation so many women make. But she trusted her gut and pushed for the checkup. It turned out to be stage 2 criviform carcinoma.
It's a rare form of cancer, right?
It is a rare invasive cancer. She's been through 8 rounds of chemotherapy. She's had the mastectomy. As of right now, she is in that agonizing waiting for pathology window to see if they got it all. It's the hardest part of the waiting game.
And she's been doing it all so publicly. I mean, she shaved her head on camera. She talks about her hair growing back and calls it her monobob. She has this incredible, dark, gallows sense of humor about the whole thing.
She hosts a podcast called Perfectly Twisted. I mean, that title tells you everything you need to know about her worldview. She's a survivor.
She is.
And we can't forget, she's been a survivor for a long, long time. This is not her first public battle. She came forward years ago with allegations against Scott Baio regarding abuse during the Charles in Charge era.
Which he has consistently and vehemently denied.
He denied it, yes. And no charges were ever filed, largely due to statutes of limitations. But the act of speaking out, of putting your name and your face to your trauma, especially against a powerful figure, that takes a level of grit that most people just don't have.
She's a fighter. And she's a worker. I mean, she drives an ice cream truck, for crying out loud.
Minty, I love that detail so much.
Me too.
She started an ice cream truck business because she wanted a fun job where she could still be close to her kids. She's not some celebrity sitting in an ivory tower detached from reality. She's
Right.
out there grinding. And I think that's why this hack feels so particularly violative.
How so?
It's not attacking a brand or a celebrity. It's attacking a mother, a cancer patient, a small business owner. It's taking away her voice, her platform for advocacy at the precise moment when she needs it the most.
It is the specific kind of digital cruelty.
It is, and it just highlights that the hackers don't care about her journey. The algorithm doesn't care about her journey. To them, her account is just an asset to be liquidated or a lever of extortion to be pulled. The human context is completely irrelevant.
So, okay, we've covered the horror, we've covered the hero, we've covered the dystopian landscape. Now we need to cover the defense. Because the clear lesson here is if Nicole Eggert can get hit, anyone can. So what is the tactical playbook for our listeners? What can you actually do?
We need to fundamentally change how we operate online. We have to shift from a mindset of convenience to a mindset of security. And let's start with the don'ts, because frankly, they are the easiest to implement starting today.
Okay, lay them on me. What are the don'ts?
Don't trust linkless DMs, period. I don't care if the message says, hello, or I miss you, or is that you in this terrible video? If it comes from a stranger or even from a friend's account that sounds just slightly off, do not engage. Silence is your best firewall. Just delete it.
Okay, what are the QR codes?
You need to treat every public QR code like it's a loaded gun. Seriously. If you are at a restaurant, look at the code. Is it printed directly on the menu, or is it a sticker that's been pasted over it? If it's a sticker, don't scan it. Ask the waiter for a paper menu.
And for parking?
And never, ever scan a QR code to pay for parking if there is a physical credit card slot or an official city app available. The risk of a pasted-on malicious code is simply too high. It's not worth saving 30 seconds.
Okay, so those are the don'ts. Let's get into the do's. And I want to talk about authentication. You mentioned earlier that the SMS two-factor authentication is weak, but I think most people hear 2FA and think, I get a text code, I'm safe. Why isn't that true anymore?
It's not true because of two major vulnerabilities. The SS7 protocol, which is a flaw in the mobile network infrastructure itself, and more commonly, SIM swapping.
Explain SIM swapping.
A sophisticated hacker can gather enough personal information about you online, then call your phone carrier, pretend to be you, and convince the, 19-year-old support agent on the other end to switch your phone service to a new SIM card that they control.
And once they have your SIM, they get your text message codes.
They get everything. Your password resets, your bank codes, your 2FA codes, everything. That's why SMS 2FA is better than nothing, but it is not secure. You need to move to an authenticator app.
Like Google Authenticator or Authy?
Google Authenticator, Authy, Microsoft Authenticator, any of them. These apps generate the 6-digit codes directly on your device, completely offline. They cannot be intercepted over the airwaves. It's a massive step up in security.
And for the really hardcore security-conscious folks?
For them, it's hardware keys. Things like YubiKeys. These are physical USB keys that you have to physically plug into your computer or tap on your phone to log in. That is the gold standard. You can't phish a physical object.
Okay, so secure the login. That's step one. What about the data itself? The big, painful lesson from Nicole's story is that she lost her journals because they lived only on Facebook.
This is maybe the most important point. You need to follow the 3-2-1 rule of backups. It's an old rule, but it's more relevant than ever. You should have at least 3 copies of your important data on 2 different types of media, with at least one of those copies stored offsite.
And a social media platform is not a backup.
A social media platform is not a backup. It is a billboard. It's a display case. If your most precious family photos only exist on your Instagram feed, you do not own those photos. Mark Zuckerberg owns them. They live on his servers under his rules.
So the action item is to download your information.
Use the download your information tool that all these platforms have. Do it now before you get hacked. Set a calendar reminder to do it quarterly. Download your photos, your messages, put them on an external hard drive, put a second copy on a different hard drive, and give it to a trusted family member. Print your absolute favorite photos. We have traded ownership for convenience, and we need to start clawing some of that ownership back.
Okay, and finally, let's talk about the Hill strategy, the bureaucratic warfare. What if the worst happens and you do get hacked?
If the worst happens, do not waste your time clicking the Help Center link 100 times. It is a dead end. It is designed to frustrate you into giving up.
So what do you do?
Go directly to your state attorney general's website. Every AG has a consumer protection division. File a complaint form. It takes 10 minutes. It's free. Describe exactly what happened. This creates a legal obligation for the company to respond to a government official. It is the single most effective way to bypass the bots without personally knowing a world-class Uruguayan hacker.
That is the pro tip of the year right there.
It's the last real tool we, as regular consumers, have left in the toolbox.
So here we are. It's February 12, 2026. Nicole Eggert is still in the fight, fighting the cancer, fighting the hackers. Her account is, for now, still standing, likely thanks to a GDPR loophole and a dedicated fan from 1996.
It's a precarious victory, but for today, it is a victory.
The big takeaway for me in all of this, the thought I can't shake, is this. We moved our lives online for convenience, but in doing so, we become tenants, not landlords.
Yeah.
We live in digital houses we don't own, and the platforms can change the locks or let a burglar in anytime they want.
And the only person who will ever truly care about your memories is you. So you have to be the one to protect them. Back them up and stop trusting the machine to have a heart. It doesn't. It never will.
Go check your backup settings. Right now, seriously, pause this and go do it.
And maybe make friends with a hacker, just in case.